try to do a sense motive on her?
I mean, you certainly can. Right now, she's just kind of propped up like this. You know,
What's all this sulking
like,
about?
You know, why are you trying to act so cool?
Why you so cool, Joe Cool?
Her motive is she wants to take a nap.
16.
You know, the hood's pulled down. Very hard to tell. You know, you really can't see any discerning motive in how far down her hood is pulled,
Seems
but
like
it's
a sleepy skittles.
it's
I don't know what she's up to.
yeah, it's a little difficult to tell at the moment.
She seems like she wants to nap.
I'm suspicious,
How
but
could she nap
she's
in
cool
this
for it.
weather?
There's another like almost. It sounds like kind of a string of explosions just off in the distance, almost like depth charge. Like
Once you're here for a while, you get used to it.
It's like white noise.
It's like the heartbeat of the planet.
Heartbeat. Yeah.
Well, it's more of a angry, allergic reaction, kind of rash to the planet.
Planet Rash.
Planet Rash.
My
It's a noisy
band
rash.
from Akaton, actually. My favorite band from Akaton, actually.
Noisy.
Planet Rash.
Planet rash.
so, you guys travel on for a couple other hour or two. Eventually, you do hear just this really kind of feedback noise from an intercom system that it's kind of sourceless, but it's very grainy, and you hear the familiar kind of abrasive voice of what you assume is like the Yosoki from before, and
It's Zed, dude.
and he just after kind of the static kind of kind of like wanes in and out. It's just like you're kind of wincing at it a little bit.
A little bit of nails on the chalkboard.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, well we're gonna be
on an intercom.
we're gonna be passing through a couple of valleys here, and we're gonna be trying to at least post up. It looks like there might be some storms up ahead, so we're going to bed down for the night in one of these valleys here. So be ready once we stop. Expect a perimeter.
Nice. That's us.
And it like just kind of like wails back out. It's just so jarring.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna just shut my eyes for now, and even if I don't get any sleep, just try and kind of take it easy for what's ahead.
Gotcha.
I just want to double check my immediate equipment. Just make sure everything's in working order. My pistol is loaded.
Fair enough. You start kind of going through the motions of prepping for
Armor straps,
being
secured,
ready.
all that good stuff.
Start maybe scoring my gun for some reason. Just like
With
using
your
my
knife.
knife and just scoring it.
Those speed holes?
No,
You're just like cutting lines.
it's gonna be getting really rough out there. I'm just gonna make it look like it's rough already.
But you got to earn those marks though.
Nah, this guy Zed, he might know that this gun's seen a few like battles, so I'm gonna make it look like it's been through a lot of stuff.
And you hear just from over the top of the seat. He's right, lines don't mean shit unless you can actually shoot straight. And you see her for the first time kind of sit up. So don't cut your lines unless you've actually already killed someone.
I've killed many people. I can preemptively put the people that I've killed in the past on this gun. I mean, he could tell you stories of the water elemental that I killed with this gun. I think that deserves a mark.
Well, yeah, but you should have done that right after you killed the water elemental. Now everyone's gonna think you're a
You were
liar.
dying. I had to get you safe.
That's true. Had to
Well,
get
you're
the
telling
water
you don't know you're
back
talking
on the
score my
inside.
gun and then get you to safety. Sorry. I'm Zidix.
You're
Shando.
Yeah, it's Shando. Yeah, she's been talking to you, and she just kind of looks at you. She's like, "Your testimony definitely makes it seem like you're really good with that gun."
Wait till you see with your own eyes what I can do with this gun.
Just don't point it in my direction.
Gotcha.
It's fair enough.
Don't become a target.
Heyo.
She like pauses and like looks at you.
I
Don't
blink
worry.
one eye at a time,
Yeah.
really slowly.
And eventually she just kind of like sits up and You can see now that she's got a long rifle sitting, not a sniper rifle like yours, but a longer, full-size weapon, and she also, kind of chambers around on a sidearm that she kind of puts on her side, and almost kind of in sequence of when the train starts to, you hear this low kind of like hum as like you can feel the G's kind of like pulling you forward a little bit.
G units.
You see through the kind of fading light and the heavy kind of like winds and dust kicking up the very kind of jagged portions of what seems to be rock formations on either side. And a very tight kind of distance on each side as when you see kind of in a very staggered kind of way lights on each corner of the car kind of flashing on, and they give off a very meager kind of light as you can see the just sheet of dust and rocks being kind of still kicked around. Eventually you feel just the and hear the very long kind of just sounds like of cars like connecting to each other or like stopping. And the two in the middle kind of get up and they like give each other a nod. One heads towards the front. The other one kind of starts making his way back this way towards you guys. The three in the front kind of stand up and they just kind of look around, and the one of the humans like looks at the group of you, gives a kind of quick like sneer, just kind of, and all three of them go out the front as the Vesk goes out the right side door, because there's like two at the front, two in the back. Goes out the side with the Kasathas, and the other two go out that way. And you see as they're about to, like, they all jump out, they kind of pull up like masks that they have. And you just hear as they open the door, just a long kind of drawn out like of abrasive
I want to activate
materials.
my environmental safety
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I'd probably do that too. Just bump
Okay.
it on.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, put on the goggles and put up a piece of cloth and activate them too, and
Disembark, form a perimeter.
Maybe you want to go up top with Buzz, since you have your
You got that
long
sniper.
eye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I'll keep Overwatch.
We'll cover the ground.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. So you guys head out the back.
Mhm.
Who's going which way?
I will go on the right side,
Okay.
I will go on whatever side seems the most vulnerable to me.
probably the right side.
With
Probably the right side.
So the Kasathis, he's waiting for you guys to kind of decide which way you're going to go, and Shando's still just kind of like sitting there, just waiting as everybody's kind of going back and forth. So if you want to grab you guys, just at that edge, just which side you're at, and as you disembark, you see the very kind of distinctly dustier frame of Buzz kind of stepping off of the cart behind you guys, and you see him now just kind of walking up to you, and just you could hear the rocks and the refuse all just kind of pummeling into him. Best guess, winds are still, even in this canyon, as you guys are looking around, it's very hellish, almost like the jagged nature of the rocks on each side. It's about 30 feet, give or take, from the side of the cart that either of you are on to the edge of it, and you can't really make out the top. You see the very kind of top portion. Best guess, as far as you can see upwards, is like 50 feet, and it seems to climb even higher. So you guys are all on the one side. or are you on both sides? Because the train is facing this way. It's like, you know, straight through, and there's
Front is this way.
Yep. There and there's on each side.
I'll take right in the middle right here so I can run back and forth.
Okay.
I'm on the reef.
And you get
Yeah,
and you
Buzz
get-
was gonna go up top as well.
Okay. Each of those pods is set on kind of equidistant sides. There's just a walkway area in between the pods, but the pods themselves are about 20 feet tall, and there are ladders on either side from what you can see, so you are able to climb up them.
Yeah, he'd probably get up on one. Get up on the.
And you hear the kind of like Kasathis, walking up as well. Pistol kind of drawn as he's like looking around, and you hear walking up next to you, Tet, is Shando Ren. She's got her rifle out and she's looking around. Her hood now just kicking around wildly, and like seems to be that she's just got her mask pulled up, but it's very hard to see in this very low light. But you hear over kind of a short kind of garbled kind of communication from her that it seems like this is going to be where you guys are going to be for a little while, so it might need to be that taken in shifts, since the storm seems to be that it's not going to pass very often anytime soon. Right. This is like right around sundown where you guys are at right now. So
Is the train hovering right now still, or is it settling on the ground?
it's dropped low, but you see that it's still got about a foot of clearance.
Okay.
And you can see, like, very faintly the kind of counter helix of the dust getting kicked, and then the wind just catching everything, and just it's like the wind is going majority in this direction, like against the train. So like every time you guys try to turn towards the front, even though you have your environmental protections on, it's very hard to see, because you can see think of it as like high beams in a snowstorm.
Yep.
Just super hard to see, like maybe like 20 feet ahead of you.
Well,
I'm gonna bust out my gun and just do some scopes around.
I'll take first shift.
Okay. So
I'll
you
take first shift with
so
you
you,
as well.
so you guys are just doing like a first kind of like perimeter setup, and then you're starting to go into shifts. Okay. Perception check from everybody. You guys are gonna do it, and so is Shando.
Non-natural 20.
Nice.
Yeah, what's the total?
Huh?
What's the total?
20.
Oh, sorry, non-natural 20. Gotcha.
Same here.
So is mine.
Actually, natural 20.
We all three.
It's nice.
Nice.
What'd you get, Tom?
No. I get 20 close, but 16.
16? Okay. In the immediate vicinity, you guys do see, just kind of trying to figure out where there's some like good ground cover. There's kind of jagged rock formations that seem to, for the most part, kind of get close to the train. Kind of when you're thinking about it, like the pass is not as wide in some parts as it seems, but for the most part, there's about like waist high, kind of points there. At your vantage point, 16. You guess that just trying to look upwards, you're pretty sure that 50 feet is not the height limit of this canyon, but just trying to peek up there, like you're like trying to scope in, and unfortunately you just can't see the top of this thing, but there definitely is a top, because you can see the random, very brief kind of flashes of lightning off in the distance, and they seem to be kind of just from the sound getting closer.
I hope we're not here for long.
Me too.
So Anything
I
you
can use
guys?
that in my melon.
Anything you guys do to set up a perimeter before start taking shifts? I mean, you can certainly all stay out here at once, or go in shifts as you indicated.
Who all wants to take first shift?
I can take first shift.
Yeah, I think maybe me.
Two and two. Do shifts of 2 people each, or
Of our group. Well, you can have Buzz out for a long time, can't you? He doesn't sleep.
Shando is
those batteries get low though.
seems to be kind of making her way up very methodically up and down the way. So it seems like she's definitely going to be out
She's
there
taking first.
So
So
and the Kasathis is as well.
you guys said you were taking first.
I can.
Or you'd like to.
Sure.
So Shando and the Kasathis are both taking the first one.
Yep. And you can see, the car that you guys were in is in the middle of the train. So there's like these 2 cars, yours, 2 more, and then the engine. So you can see kind of roughly, like as you're squinting, since you guys rolled so high, you can still see roughly like 50, 60 feet, upwards in the train segments. You see the kind of humanoid shapes of the other people kind of walking and doing similar kind of things, just like investigating the edges of the canyon and such.
Well, why don't we have it be him and Buzz? Because then that'll make 4 people out there. And then when it's time for those 3 to switch out, us 3 can come out and there'll still be 4 of us. Because otherwise, if you guys both go out there, then we're only going to have me and him to switch back out.
Okay.
When you guys are all done with your shift. So
Yeah, and
Sure.
you hear from kind of cling, 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 walking on the top of the one container. You see Buzz, and he's now kind of looking around, and he jumps down onto the side portion here, and he like kind of does like a really Slav squat, kind of close to you, and he just looks at you. What are your orders?
so we're
You take the first shift with Soren here. We'll come out for the second one and meet you then.
And he just kind of gives you a low kind of like, and kind of walks back, and then eventually just you hear him quickly ascends again.
I got an idea of something I kind of want to try. I don't know if it'll work though. I want to use my sidereal influence to attune to graviton, and then use the bonus I get to sense motive to just kind of.
Well, it's not in combat necessarily.
Hmm?
Like, I mean, is it something that you have to be in combat for?
No, it takes 1 minute prep time. And I was wondering if I could use that to just, I guess, reach out with my guys like psychic feelers or whatever, and keep a third eye open for any threats that would be
Your spider
approaching
sense.
outside of vision. What?
Your spider sense.
My spider sense.
Okay, so
My space spider sense,
so-
powered by the sun and black hole. Actually, this one's powered by black holes.
Black hole sun.
you're using the sidereal influence.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So you roll a d6 and add the result as an insight bonus to your check. This ability lasts until you enter combat, fall unconscious, sleep, or meditate again. Choose a different skill type. So what skill type are you choosing?
Sense motive.
Sense motive. Okay. Now, sense motive, even though you're adding a bonus to it,
Mhm.
you're not psychic
Oh no.
because of that. No.
Not even
that-
with my. What is it?
You're getting greater insight than you normally would because you're focusing your thoughts into that kind of photonic energy that you have, and
Sense the
it's
motive
just
of the
giving you greater insight, but it's not
What's your game here, brother?
genuine
It's
psychic
not a window
capabilities.
into there.
Right? No, it's
They're
not.
true
It's not.
motives, okay.
It's not wall hacks.
I thought maybe you could do that with the Solarian.
No.
But it's basically just solar and graviton
You'll get
power.
there.
No, like
Well,
Become a god
it's graviton and photon, so I mean, it's just
Soon enough, you
it's,
will be a
you
demigod.
attune to which
You'll be
type,
close enough
and
to
that
deity.
and that allows you to
You'll become a planet.
use it for
Floating out
those
there,
skills.
he's still
So like
just like
those
in his physical
three
body,
right
but
there
they count him as a
on either
planet
one,
because of his
whichever one.
status.
So, that
People
like I
pass
said,
by
it's
and
just
just,
it's
like,
just
slowly
you're kind of
raise.
focusing. So you take that minute to meditate. You kind of like
So we got a little moon.
set yourself up against the wall
We can't
of the
move too much
canyon
or we'll mess with
and
the
kind
sword,
of like
but just-
drowning out the sounds of the wind and the battering of the elements against your environmental protections. You eventually kind of focus and you see a slight hue change. You say graviton or photon?
graviton.
Graviton. You see the silver mote of energy kind of darken slightly. And it takes on a very like a deep shale gray instead of his normal kind of like brighter gray color. But you kind of you come back out of the short meditation and the sounds kind of come back into hearing it, but you feel like you have a more focused mind when it comes to certain kind of insights and things of that sort.
Cool. So, neat. Oh, burrito. I guess I'm just gonna hunker down behind these rocks and
Just
get
kinda-
as much out of the wind as I can while keeping an eye on things.
Yeah, it sort of, think of it as like a very like jagged kind of like semicircle on each side. There's obviously the wide kind of like floor of the canyon is mostly level. It's just kind of uneven, but like where you guys are at is where it starts to kind of wrap around, and you see, kind of there's that same kind of jagged top part to the canyon itself. So it seems like almost like it was bored out in a way.
So it's like a wind tunnel.
Sort of. I mean, it's definitely focusing the wind because it's, even though you're not like getting battered physically, it's just like it's just super loud.
Could do some jackass stunts. But like the when they had the jet engine, they were just throwing shit into like Ryan Dunn's face.
Yeah, I mean, getting out of the direct wind, you don't have to like kind of lean into it, but like when you guys are out kind of next to the train itself, you kind of got to lean a little bit forward into it. And best guess, it's in the 50, 60 mile an hour range.
Just get a
Just
parachute and then one of the
do the
squirrel
finger
suits. You can
test?
just like
Yeah.
Where's that coming from?
Fly through the whole tunnel.
Since you're so low to the ground, you're not having to like check every time, but you are definitely having to like get really low to the ground.
me.
Yeah, well, just by weight.
What do you mean?
It's a
The
strong
like
wind doesn't
you,
blow you
Oh,
away.
it's strong wind.
it's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like
Well, I'm
50, 60.
inside now.
Right, I'm just saying like
Yeah.
when you were out, it was like 50, 60 mile an hour winds.
Holding on to the side of the.
You had to securely grasp the edge.
You get some like mountain climbing pickaxes or whatever, or climbing picks, and just drag yourself along.
Just
All right.
magnet boots or something.
Yeah.
So, who is out currently? So I know
I'm
specifically.
outside,
And Buzz.
and Buzz.
Okay, so you,
Buzz is on the roof, right?
just you and Buzz, and then the Kasathis and Shando Wrench.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's
All right.
these two on this side and those two. Well,
Yep.
Buzz is on that side, but
And
my advantage.
as the kind of doors shut, you see now that the only people in the cart now are you guys. It seems that the other three and the other Kasathis are still, they're watching the front of the train, it seems. So, yeah, I mean, the wind, it's a definite, you're having to like adjust because it sounds like you were wearing like wind-swept earmuffs for the last like 20 minutes that you were out there. But eventually, you kind of hearing starts to regain, and you like hear just the dull kind of in the distant kind of that orangish lightning that seems to ever kind of flicker in the distance. So, anything in particular that you're doing as you're just getting out of the elements, watching from that vantage point that you're at?
I guess I just want to try to keep my gun tucked away as best I can out of the wind so it doesn't get gummed up with debris.
Yeah, and you're kind of like resting against it, and out of the wind as best you can. So I need you to roll me a perception check as your watch begins.
Bad. 10.
Okay. Give me a perception for Buzz.
6.
6 total? Okay. You see over the top Buzz, who, is now like getting battered pretty heavily, has to kind of now sort of like shimmy crawl, and it's not majestic as he's like seems to not mind it, but you can see him just constantly like and like
Send him a little instant message going, "How you doing, Buzz?"
the watch continues, and that's all the
His
message.
personality's turned off.
Yeah.
It'd just be like an automated message coming back.
John McClane protocol.
Send him a thumbs up emoji.
No response.
Gives you
Send him another one.
Still nothing.
Seen it. Just 6:42 and
You hear kind of like as the Kasatha seems to kind of like slide into the cover
what are
there,
you doing?
and he kind of like looks over. I couldn't find any break from the wind up there. Hope you don't mind sharing some cover with a stranger.
Oh, not at all. Well, this wind is something else, I'll tell you that.
You're telling me I still can't get used to this damn place.
Agreed.
And he kind of like extends one of his hands over, and he says, "Shark, nice to meet you."
Soren. That's how I shake his hand too. Traditional human greeting.
So, what brings you and your compatriots onto and like, I'm just talking, but you guys are actually having a shout conversation at this point, because like even though you're like that close, he's still kind of having
to meet you.
it's a raised voice. I'm just not doing it because that would make for a terrible recording.
Yeah.
So did you hear him say shark or shart?
I heard Shart. Nice to meet you, Shart.
Shartan.
Shart 10. 10 shards, that's a lot of shards.
Seems to have shart in his pants.
Oh,
So he had asked you a question.
what'd you say? I didn't
What
hear
brings
it.
you?
Funny enough, because of the wind.
Yep.
So, what brings you and your compatriots to Akaton?
Just looking for work, really.
Well, you certainly picked a shit detail.
Seems that way. But can't say it's worse than the other jobs we've done. So far.
It tends to be the general consensus is you either fucked up a different job or you're just out of luck on every other job.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So the containers are 20 feet tall.
Yep.
And the top of the canyon is about 50 feet, generally.
That you can see.
Yep.
You have no idea how like the very top is.
Well, my question is, since he has jump jets and it's a 30-foot increment for his move action, would he theoretically be able to spot somewhere that he could jump up to on the lower parts of the, like top of the canyon?
You could try.
Take a peek up there.
Just have an even bigger bird's eye view.
Well, if it doesn't seem
Bird.
possible, then he's not going to try it. But
Can you calculate that?
if it seems like there's some place that he
I
could
can't.
reach on the lower parts
Well,
of where
he doesn't have any sort of like night vision, does he?
No.
No. Okay. So like the light that's extending out from the corners of all of these, train kind of segments, it's kind of out and downwards. So I mean, largely the only light that's extending up that you get upwards is from the random flashes of orange lightning.
Okay.
And I mean, even then, it's really just hard to tell. It's just so brief.
He wouldn't do it then if he couldn't see.
So
Sounds like a coward robot, if you ask me.
well, I certainly hope that this storm kind of passes. I really don't like being out in the middle of nowhere like this.
Agreed. If something goes wrong, it's no backup.
Backup. Even if we were right in Hive Market, you think there'd be backup?
On this planet, probably not. I feel like the backup would be coming from the guys who are coming after us instead of helping us.
That's not the backup that you want, believe me, friend. There's plenty of nomadic tribes out here that would much rather just take everything and leave you out in the elements. And I would say that I'd much rather have them leave me with one round, if you know what I mean.
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. Can you tell me more about these guys? So we can be a bit more prepared if they do decide to come after this train.
Which ones? I mean, where you kind of like looks around, what, like maybe middle of the Slavskar Hills? Probably. Scarbacks, maybe. You know,
Racist.
the Red Danger. I heard they operate out of this area. That's a pretty nasty gang you don't want to mess with. They're Kesht. They're Keshti, and last I heard they had a few Shobhads with them as well.
Ooh. Sounds nasty.
Yeah, you see them, you let me know, because I'm going in the opposite direction.
Sounds good. Just leaves more
Pussy.
glory for me.
Say, believe me, you can find that glory at the bottom of wherever they decide to drop your carcass. So, just you find your glory. I'll find cover while you do that.
Sounds good. As long as you, give me a little bit of cover and fire when you find that cover.
As long as the fire's returned in kind, I think I can manage.
Sounds good.
Alright, well, enough of this. You try and at least keep an eye out here.
All right.
And he heads off and kind of, one arm kind of against the wall, another one, the other two kind of like, held in front of him as he like walks forward with his gun kind of off to the side. Benefits of having 4 arms, it seems.
True. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just make yourself, what do they call them? Eskimo sunglasses.
So,
It's just the slit of leather, or strip of leather you put
Yeah,
over your
2
face
little
and
slits.
cut 2 little slits in it.
I've done that.
You
a
just
couple
put your
times.
eye
You
out.
look like Terry Green with the mask on and the Gravy Bandits
So-
commercial.
Anything you guys do while their shift is going on?
Snatch that gravy up.
Make sure I'm all rested for my shift.
Gonna be
One more time?
Make sure I'm all rested for my shift.
Okay, so you're just taking a nap?
Yep.
Fair enough.
as he's trying to nap and just chatting in his ear like,
I don't know. He just seems like a liability. Like personally, it's fine. I don't know if I like the guy very much.
Oh, you're not there.
I'm talking about you.
Hey.
What?
Not there.
But you're not there?
I'm just talking at him as he's like hat down, just
The tropey pose that he always takes up now, just the kicked in the corner, hat pulled
Down
down.
the siesta.
Too cool for you, cowboy.
Anything you doing in that time frame?
I don't know. What should I do? What time is it now? It's already
I mean,
sundown.
Yeah, it's past sundown. You know, they're a couple hours in. So I mean,
I'm gonna tighten up my new hat that I have, my little ear flaps.
Tie it nice and snug.
Yep, my bomber hat. And just tighten that sucker up so I can't hear Tet and drift off.
fair enough. We'll say that you guys catch, a very tentative kind of rest as, you kind of midway through the night, you come back to consciousness and, the shift change kind of starts to occur as Shando, who's now like opening the door, very iron and kind of copper sort of like coating to her outfit, but it was already that kind of shade except for the arm segments of what appears to be just the pieces of armor, but eventually she just kind of climbs up and she kind of just shakes out the mask that she has. She just looks at you three. Well, this isn't a cruise. Go do some work.
I'm already up and ready
Right.
to go.
I'm just gonna nudge this one and head out the door.
I
Seems
really
to be
happily
sleeping
skitter
already.
out and skitter up.
All right, so fair enough. So,
Watch my back as I head back here.
yeah,
Are you going over there? Or?
so you guys head back
Yeah, I think I'll be over here.
inside, and the Kasathis is, there as well. And you see him about halfway up the passenger car. He's like, seems to be kind of like, motioning at the compatriot that he has. And they're, you can see kind of the figures. As you guys are leaving, you hear the doors on the far side kind of open up and the footsteps coming in. So, as you guys change shifts, go ahead and whoever's now out here, give me a perception check.
Some cop, yeah.
10?
Rolled right from 13.
All right. So you, in a similar fashion, trying to shield yourself from the wind, trying to find some cover, and you do eventually see like that side outcropping, but unfortunately, like you're trying to keep your head low, so you don't really get a good vantage of the surroundings.
15.
15? Yeah. You're keeping an eye out. The wind, obviously, like you're keeping your back to the front of the train, hoping that whoever's up there is watching.
Which would be Buzz.
17.
17 for you, and you are on top of the train. Okay, gotcha. All right, so you have to get low, really low up here. You notice the wind. There's nothing covering the top of the train. So like the scant amount of like handholds that you can find. You're really having to get low, like you're crawling at the on the top here.
Sure. Yeah, I'm always prone because I'm always get a better sniper shot.
Yep.
Anyway.
Buzz got a 6 again, so.
Buzz is staying out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what is Buzz doing?
Buzz doesn't need a
Is he on? Are you on the top of the containers too?
No.
Okay. Where is it that you are at?
I'm
As well
down
as
on the
Buzz.
bottom, just patrolling like up and
Okay,
down
gotcha.
this little portion here.
All right. So you're kind of like keeping a very like close cover to the underside. And
Yeah, I'm like keeping one hand on the train pretty much at all times to help steady me against the wind, and just looking out and moving slowly back and forth.
Or else he'll do that.
Fair enough.
Buzz, help me.
So
Just jump on his back. He's really heavy.
so you're just prone on the top,
Just
and
doing my little.
and Buzz is also kind of like you can hear him just like,
Cockpit inside Buzz so you can drive him like a mech.
and
I can just ride on his back.
as
Gotta be protected.
you
because
guys,
there's a cockpit.
your shift goes on, the wind is just unending. You can still hear it. You think that it kind of dulls, but then you hear just a really kind of like resurgence, fresh kind of wall of dust kind of kicks up as
think
you
it's
like
a-
try and steal a look forward.
An air elemental, and I'm just gonna cut at it with a knife.
Doesn't seem to cut anything. You just see like you just
like Solid Snake when he's found
Yeah. Cut a knife it in the shin.
eventually, getting on the far side, you start to kind of crawl backwards, and in a kind of sort of like synchronized kind of motion, like you see that every time you're moving, Buzz is moving as well, and as you're climbing by, you hear a very kind of low, "I'm concerned about him," coming from Buzz.
Oh, Buzz, what are you talking about?
He kind of turns to you. "Who do you think I'm talking about?"
Is this part of your new protocol?
"No. The fact that I have this protocol is cause for concern, but that's not the issue."
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. When I saw him see that desolation of his shop, I was kind of shocked too. I haven't seen him like that.
I have no records of him being in such a state either. It concerns me, at least. That's what I'm capable of describing at this point. Higher functions are out of reach at the moment.
The best we can do is help him figure out what happened to it. And try to give him some idea of how to bring it back to what it was.
As long as you are watching out for him, and you see like a kind of screwed up, like kind of like look on his face as he seems to like be searching for words. Thankful, I believe. And he just just without any, kind of anything. After a moment, he just starts crawling back this way.
That was weird. To myself.
So, inside the car, Sean, you see after she's shaken out kind of the copious amounts of dust that seems to now permeate the inside. There's kind of a sort of coppery haze of dust in the car at this point from the doors opening and closing. But Shando kind of, like sits in the same kind of spot and just, kicks her legs up, and she seems to be all, clearing her weapon of any dust that might be there. You see the three figures of the two humans and the Vesk at the front who've come back in, and they've also kind of shaken out, and then you see the Vesk kind of giving himself like hearty kind of like slaps to knock it out of his scales. He sees you looking, and he just and there's a snort, and there's definitely like some like kind of gouts of like dust that seem to kick up when he does it, and you see the two humans now, both of them look in unison, like you got this triple set of kind of eyes all looking at you.
Are they mean mugging me? What are they doing?
Oh, they're mean mugging. There's a definite there's a very low light inside here right now. There's only like two kind of very like halogen kind of like flickering fluorescent style lights. It's just.
I want to try to sense their motives.
Sure.
They got ill will going on. And then
2019.
6.
4.
So that's 23. 28.
28.
Yep.
Damn, dude.
Oh.
You get a wispy.
Wait, this ear's like.
Yeah.
That's
We got no whispers there.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Well, you guys can like just stand up and like
Yeah, we'll go over the whisper
go over there if it's more easy for you.
the room of secrets.
Come to me.
Come.
My den of secrets. My
Come
living room. My living room.
Come to Bloodhound.
I see you have breathless. I have breathless too.
Sometimes if I'm feeling down and I need to pick myself up, I'll force myself to talk in a really gritty Australian voice. Just say,
What's up, Josie? And it always cheers me up.
What?
because one night me and him were talking about why am I blanking on his name? Death.
Talking about death.
The Wade. No,
Deathstroke?
No, Deathstroke. We were just talking about Deathstroke one day, and we just got onto his kids and like.
What's up, Josie? Joanie.
Well,
Monkeys, I love monkeys.
So,
Oh, shit.
after a moment, they sit back down, and the howling of the wind outside is just kind of the only noise at the moment. As you see Shando, who's kind of taken off one boot and seems to, it's almost comical the amount of dust that seems to kind of be pouring out.
Another boot comes out of it.
Another boot with more dust pouring out of it.
just a smaller boot. Then the smaller boot comes out of that boot.
Another baby boot comes out of that.
It's a bunch of dust covered in boots. Yeah. So,
Rubber duck.
Well, I think I'm gonna. There's a door right here, right?
there's two on the back side where you guys were entering and exiting, and then the two on their opposite side. This is not representative of the passenger car.
Oh,
The passenger car is on that side of the map.
gotcha. Well, I guess I want to take a spot so I can, I don't know, close to the exit, but I have vision on everyone in the car.
Yeah, you guys have for the most part taken up residence
I
in
should
that.
probably turn my environmental shit off too.
Yeah, it lasts for an hour every, kind of like in
Okay.
increments. So like you've used it for the better part of like 4 hours, and you have like a charge for a day based on the armor level. So just keep that in mind.
You said 4 hours?
Yeah. it's been about 4 hours in your shift, and it's like middle of the night now, but the storm's still just roaring along. You set up in the opposite side, in the corner, as you stated, and from this vantage point you have full vision of like the front of this car.
And are those guys still eyeballing me?
They've sat down, and they just seem to be kind of conversing with themselves.
Okay.
They aren't looking at you anymore.
I think I kind of want to try to sneakily send an IM to the rest of the party and telling them what I was like picking up off those guys.
Okay. You can certainly just send a message to the other people in the party.
I'm gonna go beep boop beep. The message is gonna say, hey, those other guys that we almost got into a fight with, they've been mean mugging me and eyeballing me and shining over in. Just a heads up in case anything starts to go down. These guys don't like us. ... Send.
Probably don't even notice it or look at
I
it
don't-
since I'm busy outside.
Nowhere
Too
near.
much wind.
Yeah,
I got my gun on me, so
I don't have time to.
I'm on watch.
What about Bradshaw? He's always on his communication device.
Always, dude. Never sleep.
Good meta.
Ooh,
Got
double
my eyes.
entendre. Well
I got
done.
my eyes on the digital streets.
So you did. You got my message.
Yeah.
Always.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you hear what my message was?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Nope.
What was the
10-4,
message?
good buddy.
Yeah.
The message was the dudes that we almost got into a fight with.
Dudes that you
Yeah.
almost got to
Yep.
fight with.
18, female, California.
They were
Send.
mean mugging me and Shando Ren. They're eyeballing our armors and whatnot.
Okay.
And I'm just picking up a really bad vibe from them.
Yep.
So if anything goes down,
Got that. Yep.
keep your eyes on them, and it'll probably be them if something does go down.
Okay.
Send.
Okay.
Good.
Keep my eyes on hip hop.
Nice. So, the early nights hours sort of creep on, and it seems like just unbearably long the amount of time that you're standing out here. But eventually, you do see the engine side of the valley. You see just the very kind of slightest bit of sunlight starting to kind of poke through some of the wind-swept clouds. So it's giving a little bit of a reprieve from the kind of dark interior of this canyon, and it seems like the other Kasathis, who is up front with looks to be some other people that are actually in the engine, seems to be walking back this way, and kind of gives you guys one of these motions as you're walking back in that direction. Skada, you see him do that because he's coming on this side of the train.
Wants us to get back in.
Yeah, I'll communicate to Buzz for him to come inside for now.
Okay, so you see him dismount, and the sun's starting to kind of break, and I mean it's as you guys are climbing down and like stepping off the side, it's a very kind of picturesque sort of look of the not on that side. And put yourself on that side.
You're still doing something right now.
Yeah. As you guys are all climbing down, and I'm just making sure that you guys are in the right positions because perception check.
All of us?
Yep. Well,
Nat 20.
Whoa, dude.
okay, total.
9.
Nat 20.
Okay, that's
Or-
not the total. Is it the
11.
total?
No, total. 20,
18 for Buzz.
27.
27.
11.
21.
19 for me.
Okay. As you are climbing down and as you're looking out, you see the slightest, poking through the still kind of heavy winds. You see figures kind of moving along the top.
I'm gonna take a shot.
I want to raise the alarm.
Go ahead and roll
he takes the
initiative
shot.
as you are taking that shot.
Oh, initiative.
All of us?
No, I'm taking the shot.
Yeah, everybody or just him?
7.
At this moment, I'm just gonna have these two, just because they were quick enough.
Sure.
We noticed it.
Nerds.
22.
Nice.
22.
For initiative.
Okay. All right. So, and what was yours?
7.
All right. So you are the first to react. You see a very large figure at the top. You're, now with the sunlight, seeing it's probably about 70 feet up where the top of the canyon is. But you see the large hulking figure seems to be leveling some sort of weapon.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Just want to see.
Shoot the weapon.
Yeah.
Break it.
I want to do a ranged attack.
All right. So the winds are still kicking up. So there's actually a -4 penalty to it at the moment.
Okay. I'll remember that.
Oh wait, is yours energy
It's a ballistic, isn't it?
or is it ballistic?
I thought it was energy.
Yes. Or yeah, that's energy, right?
Is
Yes,
it energy
yeah,
based?
it's
Okay,
energy.
then that is not going to be affected by it.
Oh. Okay. Perfect.
So it's your.
It's just a total. It's not a minus or anything.
No minus
Okay.
in this case.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it's a 6. 22.
22.
Yeah.
Well, 16, and then your 7 over there, 23. And then, did you have your weapon specialization for your rifle?
Oh yeah, so that's
That would be plus your.
plus 3
So the
to
total.
damage. 22, 20, 25.
Okay, that definitely hits. Roll for damage.
Okay. That's a D. Which one is it? This one?
For a D10? That's a D12 right there.
12. So which
D10 would be
Diamond guy.
this guy right there.
Yes. 6.
6 damage.
For you to add me.
Not for range attacks unless it like specifically says.
Yeah, I didn't know if the rifle or not.
Well, is it to the attack or to
It's
the
to
damage?
the attack for the weapon
The
specialization.
attack.
Okay. So yeah.
Not the damage. So your shot rings off. There's a even
Hopefully
with
you guys heard that.
Yeah, there's a definite, sound of as the kind of thoom of this bright lance of energy shoots upwards, and you see the figure recoil, and there's, a very muffled kind of noise as your shot connects.
Can I send a message to Zed saying contact?
Yeah, sure. We'll just say like it is kind of the portion of your action. Yeah, sure. Yeah. That's fine. There's kind of free ball in this here. So as you do that, you see on the other side a figure leveling off a gun, and it's going to make a ranged attack against you.
Does it have a minus? Does it have a minus?
This one does not.
Okay.
And actually, just to make sure.
So this one must be an energy too.
Fry, I'll throw it up. The
All
Jamie
right.
version of Fry.
This one does actually have a minus to it. Sorry.
Oh,
This,
okay.
yep, this one does.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, that still is at a 23.
Yeah. I think I got hit.
All right. So you are going to take 5 points of damage as the shot rings out and just kind of pierces your side, and you're trying to kind of move as you see that shot coming through, but it still kind of clips you. As the other figure seems to level off and also take a shot at you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a 27.
Jesus.
Natural 20 actually as well.
Yeah, I got hit.
Uh-oh.
But luckily these guys don't have any additional crit damage to them, but still gonna do that. Well, I mean it's not like any sort of additional effects, but it's still gonna be doing that damage, that double damage there.
Double damage.
That shot is going to be hitting you center mass, and that's going to be dealing 23 points of damage.
Stamina gun. Is that like a rocket launcher or something?
It's hard to tell. The shot comes lancing down, and you feel it kind of pierce your side, and just there's a definite kind of impact as you're like thrown backwards, not just by the wind and getting kicked off balance, but you just like splayed across the top there, Sean. And then we'll have the rest of you guys join initiative.
Let's go photon mode first of all.
All right.
I am inside. I want to pop outside, trying to stay in cover. And I guess I'll take shots at the first guy I see.
All right. There's one on each side.
Each side.
Yep.
So
High up.
here.
So like you're looking
So-
upwards.
Which one did I hit?
The one on the left.
Okay.
I'll aim at that one too then.
If I'm facing your direction.
Yeah,
That's a big
it's
guy.
hard to
It's
tell
a
like
bigger
from this distance now. Like you're just seeing like this large kind of hulking kind of figure. It's since you rolled so high as far as like your perception goes, you're able to see them pretty effectively.
He's
But
pretty far outside my effective range though.
it's
So
like
what kind of
70 feet
Yeah.
from like floor to ceiling or floor to
tactical
top.
pistol has a range of 30.
Right.
So
Does it?
yep.
I thought it was 80.
The pistol.
Yeah, mine says 80.
Yours.
Well, yours
I
is
have a laser pistol.
Yeah, yours
Oh,
is
yeah,
laser
you got a
pistol.
laser
He's got
pistol.
a
I got a tactical one.
Oh,
analog tactical.
little ballistic.
Yeah, ballistic. A firearm.
I have a laser.
So what kind of I guess
do you-
negative might have to take for
Or is-
shooting that far outside of range.
I mean, it's going to be a pretty decent sized one.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a -6,
-6.
Yep. just with the wind and everything too.
Well, let's give it a shot. Oh, that didn't do anything.
How much total?
6 plus, where's my 7? Oh wait, no. 10.
It's your ranged.
Yep.
10.
10? Oh yeah, not at all. Trying to like, as you jumped out, you forgot. Oh shit! I didn't kick on the environmental protections, and like the wind was just. Yeah, you see like part of the wall just kind of crack.
Oh, whoops.
But that's the end of your
Sorry.
turn.
Yep.
All right. So the other you guys go ahead and roll initiative as you're joining this confrontation.
As long as I can draw the fireball from you guys.
Natural 20 for me. Total is 22.
All right.
What did Buzz get?
He's on my turn.
25.
It's either I move.
25.
Yep.
And then
Or
how
he
much?
takes
How much did
his.
you have?
22 is the total. It was a natural 20, which doesn't matter.
How much did
but-
you have for yours?
I had a 22.
22. Okay.
What's your dex mod?
4.
Yeah, so you beat me.
For initiative.
And what was yours total?
25.
25.
25.
Damn.
Damn, dude.
All right.
Give me some
I'm just got
healing.
that big.
Heal me up there, Skaday.
6. Jesus.
All right. These other guys didn't roll as well, and Buzz was what?
Buzz is on my turn.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So you guys have heard these shots kind of ringing out.
Action,
Skada.
and he takes his action.
Yep.
What are you doing?
So where was the location of the dudes at? Up
Like
close?
about 70 feet up on the
I shot
top
this guy.
parts of the canyon. You
Okay.
see them
This
shooting
guy shot.
down.
So I'm gonna take my Rudy Tooty point and shooty.
Okay.
And take aim and shoot it.
All right. Laser pistol. Yeah, it's within range. Go ahead.
Got a
Arranged.
You're ranged, and
Yeah.
then also, did you have your weapon specialization for the pistol? Laser pistol?
I
Or
think
like
so.
small arms?
Yeah.
Because then you get to add your
+2.
to your attack here, so it's your 12 plus 4.
Okay. So 18.
18. 18 will hit.
Nice.
Wait. Hold on a second. EAC or KAC?
It's laser.
Yeah, it's
EAC.
That does not. It barely misses, unfortunately. It seems like from where they're at, they have kind of partial cover as they're shooting down. They don't seem to be like utilizing it fully, but you know it's still enough that your shot, you see it kind of pierce the ground near that target, but it doesn't hit. All right, so that was your attack. Anything else you're doing?
Can I do my secondary attack? Then?
Yep, you can do the second one at that negative.
Yeah, it's negative.
-4.
That's -4, so then you can pretty much just calculate your. Just to leave that out. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Nothing?
7.
7? All right. Unfortunately, that shot even closer to the wall than the last one. So that was your full action. So that's the end of your turn. Zidix, you're up.
Is it? Okay.
Because it was like coming back around to start, another round of combat.
I'm gonna shoot the same guy, but I'm gonna do trick attack.
Okay.
Or wait, can I do that? I do have to reload.
You would have to reload.
So I can't do a trick attack, but I can use my movement to reload, and then I'll just do another shot.
Okay, so you're using your movement at the start of this turn, just
Yep.
reloading?
Yep.
Okay.
So I can't do a...
Trick attack is a full action, so you wouldn't be able to do that.
So yeah.
But you can take another shot,
Mhm.
certainly.
Same guy.
Okay. One on the upper left, you see him kind of still hulking on the side there.
21.
21 hits.
Tenor.
10? Oof, nice. So that's going to be 10 damage, and you see now you've kind of dulled the pain of that first hit that you took that really hit you, and you level off, and you see like another gout of what you assume to be blood, but the recoil of the figure, you're sure you hit him.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm ready for this.
All right, so that's the end of your turn?
Yep, it has to be. It needs to be.
Needs to be.
Help me, Ted.
I'll try.
Tet,
Heaven Bez.
what are you doing?
Help me, Hoagie Man.
I'm going to use my move action to
Diarrhea.
activate. Let me just double check. Let me use my standard action to activate my energy shield.
Okay.
And then Buzz is going to. You said there's one on each side, basically.
Yep. Kind of equidistant. Like, think of it as like just even with the front end of the train,
And-
or the front end of this car, all the way up at the top.
Which the one on which side has been hit?
The one on that side.
Okay, so he'll fire at that one.
Okay.
He's the big guy.
And his is a laser.
Laser,
or an
yep.
energy weapon. Okay.
Yep. No, it's a total no. I rolled a natural 4.
You see his arm kind of extend upwards, and the gun fires off the side. Hits the rocks, unfortunately.
Do I see that?
You see a beam coming out from the bottom right all the way up to the upper left, and it just hits the rocks.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Is that for your turn?
Yep, that's it for me.
Okay. All right. It's going to be the two figures' turn. I'm going to take another shot at you since you're on the top.
Yep.
Taking the minus. 23.
Yeah. You're rolling really well.
Whew. I don't know if that one actually is. Oh, that's gonna be... Oh, okay, that is. 13 points of damage. Piercing damage.
Jeez.
Another round connects into
Are you still
you.
up,
This
Tyler?
time
Yeah.
in your kind of upper
I have
hip
to do
area.
that there.
And you see just this
I was at
gout of
23.
blood just
Minus 13.
get lost in the kind of still semi-hurricane-like winds that are like
That's all I
carrying
got.
your
If they shoot me again,
blood.
I'm down.
That's it for that one's turn. You see it kind of scoot about halfway down. This first cart's distance. Like so now, it's effectively kind of in this area. Oh wait, you need those. Well, I
Here,
mean,
I've got extras.
I got them. Since you guys aren't really able to kind of make them out at the moment, this one's here, and this one's like up in that area, just as like indicators of where they are vertically. That one is done, and you still see that it's like partially kind of hanging, kind of looking over the side, and the other one, shots coming at you again.
Do it.
That is not gonna hit.
Okay,
It
good.
is
Oh,
a
okay.
9.
Yeah, that was either.
No, it does not. You're right.
You see, you hear the as the round passes by close, but it doesn't connect to you. You get the feeling that this might not be the most tactically advantageous position.
Guess not.
Kind of out in the open there.
Not
Soren.
for tactics.
You're up.
I'm gonna use my whole turn to shoot at this guy twice.
All right, go ahead and make your range attack -4 on the first one, -8 on the second one.
First one doesn't hit at all.
Okay, -8 on the second one.
That one doesn't hit either, I bet. It's -8.
Yep,
5, that's a 9.
9.
9. Is that a 9? That's a 9.
Just
It's a 9.
the shots now are still connecting into the side of the canyon itself.
Wunderbar.
It's covering fire, boys. That's what it is.
There you go.
All right, that's the end of your turn. You see now behind you, you hear kind of as Shando Ren has jumped down on this side, and you up there, if you want to move her up to the very front. You see her leveling off. You hear just this kind of 2 shots ringing out.
She's gonna double tap right now.
First one connects, second one doesn't. That's some good damage. So that shot is for, looks like 12 damage to the target on the right side.
Damn.
Don't worry about me, guys.
You got some up your sleeve?
And so at that, after that double shot, she's now like staring straight at you and like a very like, kind of stern face, not like, panic, but like very like almost ferocious. She just yells, "Get in the fucking car!" as that ends her turn. So that's going to be the top of the order, Skada.
Yep. We keep firing at the old boy up there.
He's a little bit closer now. He's big. You can see him.
Oh, I'm gonna keep firing at him.
You don't want to move a little bit away. he's charging at you like a bull.
He's like still long ways up, but he's like basically directly above you.
I'll shoot at him.
All right.
Well, 9.
Nope. Your shot hits the side of the canyon. Second attack, the -4 on it.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Time for Chicago
4.
Bulls.
4. All right. Both your shots, unfortunately, hit the side of the canyon. Zidix, Tet, and Buzz.
I'm gonna scamper down.
All right.
So I'm on the low level now,
Okay.
and
All
I'm busting out a serum healing.
Good idea. I need to see you go down.
All right. So
I'm
you.
gonna try to scare up and give you one extra.
That's my. I have 2 Mark 1 serums of healing. So I'm using 1.
All right. It kind of has it as part of like a move action, as you move action to use items, but since it's kind of disambiguous, it's like ambiguous. I'm just gonna say like you'll use your standard action for it.
Yep.
So,
That's
all right. So go roll a 1d8. Add that to your health.
This is my D8. No.
no.
Yes, that is. Okay. For a second, it looks like a D10.
All right, so you get 4 HP back as you pierce the side that the large kind of gauge hole, and you like see the wounds like slightly starting to kind of like bleed less, but whatever round it hit you was a pretty sizable round.
So are these guys using lasers or is it ballistics?
It seems to be ballistics. There's no, kind of beam to it.
Just a crack.
Yeah, just a muffled kind of crack. So, Tet, Buzz, what are you doing?
I'm doing as she says. I'm getting in, and then I'm gonna.
Yeah, you're running and climbing into the car.
I'm gonna relay the message to Buzz to do the same, so he can just jump down and enter
Alright.
as well.
Fair enough. All right, so you guys are now back inside,
Doing
and
what the mean lady says.
When you enter, you see there's the two Kasathas who are on, as you're entering, the two Kasathas are actually firing at targets farther down on, out of kind of your guys' range, but you now, like, as you're, like, turning this way to see them, you see that there's two more large figures that are shooting down at the ones in the front. You see the one Kasathas on this side actually just take a round straight in the chest, and you see him slump down and dead.
Oh, just okay.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I was gonna go over and see if I could help, but
Unfortunately, it looks like that round kind of struck true. That's going to be the end of your guys' turn. As you're climbing in there, you see in that case, you see one of the humans has climbed in, and it seems to be kind of like pulling up the other one, as you can hear the very kind of like muffled kind of roar of a Vesk who seems to be like shooting at something on the opposite side. It's kind of like a really odd angle look as you're climbing in. It's really kind of fast action. So at the end of your turn, the one on this side is leaning over, taking a shot at you. Skida. That is going to be a 16 against your KAC.
It's my KAC that hits.
Hits?
Uh-huh.
Alright. You are going to take 12 points of piercing damage as the round kind of like pierces almost nearly into your clavicle area, and you kind of feel the round kind of tear through that side of your body.
It's being nice to you.
The other side, you hear... did you move onto that side?
Me?
You.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just because I'm checking, just because you see the figure kind of like leaning and like aiming at Shando Ren. Yep. You see as the round kind of shot, you see Shando kind of turn, and you see like the actual kind of spark of the round as it nearly misses, but you see just now that kind of illumination, we'll say, almost of like that kind of spark. You can see like, this is like, it's like Stuart blue kind of armor. You saw it before, but it's just like, it just kind of looks now that she's added another kind of bullet scar, we'll say, just more ricochet action on that armor. That's going to be the end of that turn. It's your turn as you see this occurring.
I want to say cool, and then switch my focus to the guy that was shooting at Shando.
All right. So by now you are fully attuned.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
But there's not much I can really do, because they're all really far away.
Okay. This is
yeah. What's the range on your?
Yeah, you are looking at
Oh,
a
it comes from you, doesn't
The
it?
supernova is 10 feet around me.
Yeah.
Yep.
And flare is 30 feet.
Yeah, and the targets, like I said, they're up on the canyon
Using
ceiling.
Pythagoras' theorem. I don't know.
Well, what does the flare do exactly?
The flare?
Yeah.
I can either light up an area, 30 feet radius for 1 minute, or I can blind a guy for 1 minute.
It's kind of dull light in the
Mhm.
morning, kind of like sun cresting. So I mean, it's if you like stare directly down the canyon, you're gonna kind of just squint. But
Mhm.
for the most part, your visions, you're able to see things.
Yeah.
The wind has kind of died down, but it's still pretty heavy. So first shot.
18, was it -6?
At this distance, yeah, it's gonna be -6.
So 12.
12 does not, unfortunately.
19 or
19, 23, minus 6 again.
It's gonna be minus 6 was going to be from the wind and the cover, so it's gonna actually add another 400, so it's like minus 10.
Minus 10.
Yeah, you're getting the
13.
feeling that this is not an environment you're able to really effectively,
Not quite.
slang lead.
Hit all my targets. Just saying.
Well, your weapon isn't affected by gravity, wind, and air pressure,
And the user is really good.
humidity.
All right, end of your turn. Use
Yes.
full action. So, all right. As you throw your 2 shots, Shando Ren runs a full 30 this way, so she effectively.
30.
Yep. She gets about halfway down, and you see her stop, and you see her kind of level off her gun and starts firing past you. And,
Oh, shit.
What the frig?
Unfortunately, the shot doesn't hit, but the kind of shot brings your attention as you look backwards, and you see the very past the edge of the back of the train, like probably about 300 feet back. You see 2 kind of metal objects kind of coming forward. It seems like some sort of skiffs that are very quickly approaching. And you see her through the howling of the wind. She just seems to be staring at you guys, and she just points at you. Is this? And then she kind of turns as she's looks like she's gonna not even bother waiting for a reply. So it seems like there's some sort of
Reinforcements bearing down on
something
us
like that.
quickly.
So Skadal,
Yep.
what are you doing?
Well, keep firing at your boy.
Okay.
Chicago Bulls.
Kobe.
15.
15. 15 does not hit.
It's 13.
9 plus 2 plus 4.
Oh.
Nope. 7. No. 5. No.
Alright. So, both your shots, hit that. So, your turn. Lytics.
Sniper's away. Busted my serum out. I'm gonna just get on the edge kind of with Soren. And I saw that shot go by.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna take another shot just out there too. Back where she was shooting.
Did you reset?
I'm not using my sniper, I'm just using
Did you
my
use a pistol?
Yep.
Okay. The targets that you're shooting at are about 300 feet away.
Just shoot.
Okay. Go ahead and do it.
It's just a fuck off shot.
Yeah. Back off, guys.
Hey,
One
I see
shot
you
across the
over
bow.
there.
Did you hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're coming from the back. You
The
said-
way that the train came from.
Yep.
They're quickly approaching.
23.
23 total?
Yes.
Okay.
Go up and get a 50.
Fuck off, cunt.
Your shot is close, but it doesn't connect. You see
I
that-
got him, Soren. Let's get in.
All right. So that was about 10 feet of movement. 20 feet left. One to go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab on this one and keep moving.
You aren't. You're misconstruing where you guys are at.
Oh, I'm
Passing
pulling him.
cars up front.
Okay.
So you guys are in between 2 ice hauler cars.
Okay. Is this the walkway through?
Yeah.
I'll bring it to the back.
What are you dragging me? The fight's back there.
She told us to go.
So that's the end of your turn.
Does it seem like the train that we're on is starting to gear up to get moving?
Perception check.
6.
6. Hard to tell. I mean, with just the quickness of you getting onto the train. I mean, you're not sure, but I mean, it's probably safe to say that they might not want to be here anymore.
Yeah, no, I assume that's what's happening, but I was just wondering if I could actively tell if it was getting close to like taking off or not.
Getting off, yeah.
Okay, so I want to look at the people back behind us.
Steam
Yeah,
engine.
we'll say it's no movement for you to be able to do that. You're just
Yep.
kind of like leaning.
I just want to look, and I want to try and start calculating in my head how long it's going to take for them to reach us at their current speed.
At their current speed?
Yes.
Give me a. Let's see.
Physical science.
Mysticism.
No, we'll just have it do as like a
In mind computers, because it's a mind computer.
mind computer. No, we'll just say that that's another
Bluff
perception check.
Perception.
Yeah,
You're bluffing, you're not
You're
going
just trying to
that
like
fast.
gauge the
They're
distance.
not actually
you know,
coming
and that
after
way
us.
you're
You
just
guys
kind of
are
like
just
guessing.
joking.
You're Mirage.
16.
16. Best guess probably in the next 30 seconds.
Okay. So I tried this before, and mechanically it worked. I want to do a slight variation on it if I can. I want to get out one of the battery packs that I have as a backup ammo for my laser pistol, and I want to try and wire it so that it'll be on a short timer to overload. Basically, just take some wiring and put it in a feedback loop so that this thing will explode in a certain number of seconds.
Okay, there's going to be a full action, so you won't be able to do anything else with it.
That's just fine. I'm not going to actively get it ready to blow up, but I'm going to like get everything ready and get ready to take this action to get it ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yep. Go ahead and give me an engineering check.
Okay.
Essentially, like assembling it without putting like the fire,
The trigger
on
one.
it.
Jesus. Thankfully I didn't go upstairs, but it's total of 16. Yeah, like just get
Total
it
16?
ready. Yeah. Ready to light the fuse, pretty much.
You bust out the bicycle.
In kind of the hurried kind of like events of it, you're not done, getting
That's-
it together.
that's fine.
So you might have to do it on the next round as
Okay. At least I've started it.
well. All right. So what's Buzz doing?
Buzz is gonna go over to where the one fallen and the standing Kasathas are, and just like stand near the one that's still up, and just kind of be there, like, "Hey, I'm here for backup if you need me," kind of thing.
Well, the
Replacing
one,
the fallen soldier.
the one who's just kind of fired off, and you see his shot seems to maybe have connected. Buzz isn't sure, but you see him now, kind of like he's got two arms like underneath the side of one of his comrades, and he seems to kind of be pulling at Buzz, there, and he kind of like turns and like looks at him for a second, and kind of like comes back to you, and then pointing up to
If he can, Buzz will try and like grab his feet and help him just move him. Then.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Kasathas is large enough that Buzz can kind of get in on the opposite side.
Yep.
And the guy's gun is kind of in between the two of them at this point.
Take some of the weight off so you can concentrate on shooting or something like that.
Exactly. All right, fair enough. So you guys, they make it about nearly back to the passenger car door, the one that you guys have gone into. Whatever.
I know. I'm just for my own.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyways, the end of his turn, the one on this side, still gonna shoot at target that's there. Skadot.
Hit.
That is a non-natural 20.
Woo!
Cock! It's for KAC?
Yep.
I'm 14.
Okay. All right, that's gonna be 8 more damage. Yes. With every shot, there's a
Yep.
kind of a very dull
I want
kind
that
of
gun.
thump.
I want that gun.
All right. The one on this side, gonna take another shot at Chandler.
You gotta get the fuck on his train.
As she's turning around and starting to kind of move backwards, you see like a shot kind of pierce through her shoulder, and you see kind of she like dips to the side, but she catches herself on the side of the train, and you see like the rifle that she was holding in one arm kind of slumps a little bit as she's now like kind of holding her arm a little bit.
Mediocre.
And eventually she does kind of like steady herself again as it's your turn. Sorry.
I kind of want to run back and help her get back on the train.
Well, you guys are behind her at this point. this is why this is kind of confusing here.
She's
It's
running
just
up to
because,
the
like,
passenger car.
yeah,
She's running up here.
yeah. She hasn't moved yet.
She hasn't
She
moved.
hasn't moved yet. She's right
She
there.
got shot.
She got shot from the target
She's been
up
shot.
there,
Okay.
and you
God.
guys are
Oh my
still
God,
kind
she's
of
been
like
shot.
on this side of
Give us some
the
gas.
ice container.
And those skiffs are about 15 seconds away.
Give or take. I mean, it's hard to tell, but they're coming quick.
Right.
Sound
What
of
are you
flare, Soren. Tell him to go. We gotta go.
What are you
Yeah.
doing?
We gotta go. I'm gonna yell at everyone to get back on board as loud as I can.
All right.
And then take a shot at number 2 over there.
Okay, so you're not moving. You're just
Number poop.
okay. All right. Go ahead and shoot.
Shoot the poop.
That's a miss.
Yeah. That shot misses. Is that all you're doing?
I just want to, I guess, can I use my movement to ready a shot to cover Shando?
It's not like a reaction. I mean, attacks of opportunity would be reactions, but
Right.
that's like right up next to you.
Gotcha. I think I just want to keep an eye open, just cover, I guess, for my position.
Okay. Fair enough.
Around the corner or whatever.
All right. After steadying herself, she runs forward that distance up to the door, and as she's kind of stepping up onto it, she takes another shot at the figure up in the top there. That's just enough to hit.
You go, girl.
Shando, get it.
You see the figure kind of bob off for a second as the shot seems to kind of skin the top part of its face, which now you can see the figures, they're very large, even at that distance to be that visible. They've got to be pretty big. But she seemed to have gleaned a pretty good hit, and that's going to be the end of her turn. As the next kind of round comes back up, you guys feel the lurch of the train kind of getting upwards, and now it's starting to
Except Skidda, he's not on the
head
train
forward.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
So Skidda,
What's up?
the train is starting to move. What are you doing?
USB.
Running for the train.
I'm like, yeah.
All right. So it's moving really fast. So
Jesus.
you're gonna move with it, and you're kind of even where you're at right now. You're able to keep pace for the time being, but it's quickly moving faster.
Yep.
You can try and jump on where you're
Yep.
at. All right. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Uh-oh.
Yep. 11.
11 total.
Yeah.
Let me see if maybe actually just check to see if maybe acrobatics in this situation. It would definitely be athletics. So you got 11.
Yep.
All right. So you try and jump. You trying to catch onto the side. Unfortunately, there's no handhold there, and now you're quickly starting to lose pace as the train's moving forward, and you're about midway through the train here.
Yeah.
All right. That's the end of your turn, Ziddix. What are you doing?
Turn my camera back on.
You'll be going, Wilson, and Soul Bus.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna use my full movement to get to where Skidda is.
All right. So
And
yeah,
I-
you see him quickly kind of like starting to pass through that gap as you're kind of hopping back and forth on the two. Keep in mind that there's like a thin kind of gantry that's between the two cars.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I'm just gonna pop off a shot if I can see the guy that was shooting at him before.
Oh, I thought you were gonna put him out of his misery.
Sorry.
Sorry, Skidda, I didn't make it.
it's up.
Okay.
You see a similar figure up there.
Yes, I'm
Are
gonna shoot.
you able to? Oh, yeah, you'd be able to shoot.
I'm just using my laser.
Well, I'm just wondering if you in that meantime, since the last time you shot. Or are you talking about you're just your pistol?
Hmm?
Okay, never mind then. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I still have I have yet to reload that gun, so I'm just
right.
using my.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
I
Go ahead.
have mark off my ammo usage for the laser though. This is now 17. $21.
21 hits.
Okay, and that was just a right.
Yep.
A 3.
3. Nice. All right. So you see the figure kind of recoil as your shot seems to connect, and that's going to be the end of your turn.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's get up.
Let's get to it.
All right. That's the end of your turn. 10. You feel the train had lurched upwards and now is moving as in the doorway, kind of half pushing inwards was Shandell Wren as she's taken up this position, kind of like half like leaning in and just shooting upwards.
Okay, so I want to try and finish what I was rigging, and I want it to be on a timer that is approximately when those guys are going to get to about where we are.
Okay.
Know what I'm saying?
Another engineering check.
Okay. 22 total.
22. Easy enough. You kind of attach a very basic kind of timer to it, and you know you're not sure how effective it'll be based on the little bit you've seen of the vehicles that are fastly approaching, but you have it ready. So that was your standard action. So you have your movement.
Well, if it's ready to go, then I would just want to, do whatever. Finally, twist the wire or do whatever and chuck it.
You'll be doing that your next turn.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, you're finishing it up on this turn.
That's fine. Nothing else for me.
Actually, you know what? Since you've done it the turn before, we'll say it's a move action. So standard action, yeah, we'll say you were able to, kind of chuck it off. So are you just throwing it off just right close?
No, I'm going to try and throw it a little bit in their direction so that as we start moving, we'll get away from it and they'll come to it and hopefully it'll...
Fair enough. Fair enough. Just give me a athletics check. Just because it's
More of a bomb.
just actually, you know what? Roll a d20 and then add your dexterity.
Okay.
Say. Since it's kind of technically ranged.
8.
8? Okay. You see it kind of bounce against the canyon wall. It still seems intact, but it's like kind of off to the side a little bit. So, we'll see how effective that'll be. That's the end of your turn. Buzz is up. And Buzz is, kind of standing behind you in the doorway. Buzz was carrying the Kasathas. And getting to the point where, like, the back door that Shandell Wren is at is very quickly approaching. And the Kasathas is like looking back up at the target and then at the person next to him and looking at Buzz.
I mean, he's either going to put a hand out for Shando or continue to help the Kasathas, whichever seems more...
You gotta decide, I'm not gonna tell you.
He's going to put a hand out to Shando then to just help her get on the train.
Well, she's on the steps of the train, so she's on already. So...
Well, would he be able to be in range of this guy still, or...?
I mean, looking upwards, yeah.
Okay, then he'll still take a shot.
Okay.
You did well with that dice, I'm just saying.
No, it was a natural 3, so...
Okay, alright, fair enough. So,
Bring this guy back
shoots,
out. Yeah, there you go.
and
That's a guy.
door is now about 10 feet away as it's very quickly coming up. So, just letting you know.
Well, what's the importance of that? I don't
The
understand.
train is moving, he's off the train. You said he went to go help the Kasathas, who was off the train. This is why I was...
Oh, I didn't understand that because I thought the Kasathas had his, because I got on board and I saw the Kasathas...
That's why the mini thing on there was...
I'm not talking about minis, just I got on board the train and I saw the Kasathas helping his, dragging his friend while shooting, so I thought they were
Right.
inside. Okay,
No.
so then he's gonna shoot and then, he can only shoot or move, so he shot.
Well, okay, so is he just dropping the Kasathas? What is he doing?
He put down the Kasathas to shoot and now he's there.
It's his turn. Okay, so, alright, fair enough.
He can only take an action to do something or move. So
Okay.
that was...
Gotcha. Alright, so, in that kind of short time span, the Kasathas is, still kind of pulling and, at this point, kind of half pulling Buzz with him a little bit. So it seems like he's trying to at least, make sure that everybody's going, but, it's very tough going with a robot and, comrade. That's the end of that. The one on the left, gonna take a shot at Skada.
I suppose you guys would be like back here now.
19.
Yep.
Perspective wise.
Yep. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
That hits it.
That is gonna be 11 damage.
Okay.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
And the one on this side is going to shoot at. It's actually going to be shooting at Buzz, since that's the closest target. Since the Kasathis is on the inside of the train, like kind of pulling this way. 17
KAC or
KAC.
that hits.
That
It
hits?
meets.
Okay, that would hit.
Just FYI, Buzz has the coordinated shot feat. So anybody that he's like actively threatening in battle with his actions, anybody else that's shooting at that target that he's not actively like blocking them as cover or anything, they get a +1 to their attack rolls.
Okay, good to know. All right. So that is going to deal 13 points of damage, piercing damage. As that shot is done, Soren, what are you doing? As the train started to very quickly pick up speed.
Right. Are those skips still gaining on us, or
Oh,
are
yeah. They're
we accelerating?
getting closer. They're probably about 100, 150 feet. Like the closing of the distance is kind of slowed slightly, but they're still gaining.
These guys are just gonna quickly fall behind us.
Yep. Very,
Skada
very quickly.
Still needs to get up. I guess I'll start moving towards the back of the train and to kind of position myself to get ready for the skiffs.
Okay. So you have these two carts, and this one is the very end
Okay.
of this of the train. So
You get 40? How much you
I got 25.
so you're climbing upwards because like I said, these
Oh, that's right.
containers are 20 feet up.
20. We'll go between them.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So you've moved. Are you going to continue to move, or what are you doing?
I should probably put a little pep in my step since I'm not fighting currently. So if I sprint, that's an extra full movement, right?
Well, you would use like full action, but you can move like double your movement.
Right.
So.
So I'll get another 20. There.
Right, so you're kind of quickly, like, kind of just trying to keep your balance as you're running back towards the end of the train.
Exactly.
All right, Chandel Ren, who's now kind of like leaning at this point, looks up, looks at the two that are quickly approaching, and she's now kind of like grabbing the edge, and you see like slight kind of blood coming out of her hand. She's kind of going down her arm where she got shot. Seems to be extending out of her hand. So she's like basically just readying herself to try and grab whoever catch him.
So I'm on the train though, right?
You are on the train. Okay. So yeah, sorry if that wasn't clear, but that's why I was trying to keep it visually. But it is going to be Skada's turn.
Okay. I'm gonna keep trying to get onto this bitch.
Okay, so now it's going to be a higher DC. You guys are picking up speed, so you're going to be kind of trying to get onto this last car here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For athletics, right?
Yep. Rolling for athletics, trying to climb on here. What's the total?
Fucking non-natural 20.
Non-natural 20. Very last 10 feet, you're able to kind of catch yourself. You're prone and you're hanging kind of half off, but you are able to catch the end of it, we'll say.
So this guy's off the board now.
Yep. Very quickly. Effectively, the only one that's kind of in range at this point now, like effective kind of shooting, is the one on the right, but it's moving very quickly. So, Ziddix.
I'm gonna go and see if Skada needs help. Somebody use my full movement.
Okay. as you're moving, and it's you're on the outside now. I want you to do an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics. I'm great at that. I barely have to roll. 26.
Yeah, you're able to since you guys are still within the canyon, you're able to kind of like plant yourself up against the container and like skitter. Skitter.
It's like moving in the Gorn VR. Reach out and grab and pull yourself along.
All right, so you move along, and eventually you do get to him. And he's like, grabbed on for dear life at this point, but he's not showing us. He's looking at his communicator.
Are you playing a different game?
No, I'm not
playing a
playing a game. I'm just looking at it.
Put your phone away. I'm not getting that. Come on. Thanks. All right. So.
That's if I can see anybody, I'd like to maybe shoot a shot.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's going to be a really tough shot.
I'll do it.
So you got the two quickly approaching vehicles, and then you have you see the one on the actually opposite side. The one on this side is like so far away. It's like I can honestly tell you there'd be no chance.
12.
12.
I got it, guys.
Yeah. So you're like kind of leaning and just kind of lobbing shots at this point. But you see the shot fly wide. All right, that's the end of your turn. You're up. It's at this point that after this round is when you're guessing they probably would be passing over the point that you had tossed out your device.
I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna have my gun ready if I see anybody else like on the front side come up, or if the skiffs come up closer. And then Buzz is just gonna do what he can to get on the train.
All right, just himself.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, have him do an athletics check.
Non-natural 20.
All right. So,
All right.
as it seems like the Casophis is trying to reach up, Buzz intervenes, and he actually is the one that catches her. And unfortunately, he doesn't have a handhold on the guys, and you see him just pass by as the Casophis is quickly. The train just fires off, and you see just this pinwheel of dust kind of envelop where they were. So, Buzz jumps on the train.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Is he about here? Or
He's on the passenger car area because Shando Ren, who's like half kind of groan screaming, pulls him on, and he's just kind of splayed on top, and she just kind of shoves him kind of up and into the car. All right. So the two are effectively out of combat at this point, and for the time being, the initial combat has ended here as this round of combat kind of ended as the device you said kind of you see a dull thud and kind of a cascade of rock across where. Perception check actually. And whoever was on the back there. Actually, probably not you, but it would be
13.
13.
Not 20.
Okay.
27.
so 12.
Okay. You're the only one that sees this, but you see the Casophis, who was kind of seemed to got stuck in a kind of, looked to have been reaching for something as they quickly, passed backwards. You see a dull thud and then kind of a cascade of rocks envelop them as the skiffs are, overtaking that position. There's just a big torrent of dirt and dust and rock. Okay. And after a brief couple of seconds, you see both of the skiffs still continuing on. The one on the right seems slightly damaged, but
Was that from his little bunk?
his little device.
I don't think you know what that was, though.
No, I just saw a
You,
boob.
ju- you
cool.
just, you just saw you just saw on the side there. Yeah. So as this it kind of seems to have slowed them down a little bit, you see now that the train seems to exit the canyon and now is just on the wide open plains of the hills in the area. Now it's starting to get kind of, there's a slight kind of jostling. It seems like there's less of a concern about stability as speed at this point. So it's a very kind of slightly jostling, especially on the outside here. So you guys have roughly, just a quick moment if you wanted to do something like, for example,
Reload
make sure
my
that-
magazine.
Yeah, so like you guys have enough time for an action.
I reload.
Yeah, I'll reload.
Okay.
Can I do anything else after that?
Not really. I mean,
Okay.
like, you will say that between reloading, you guys, you help him get fully on.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
And now, you can be like sitting, or we'll say, prone still if you wish.
Did I lose my stellar manifestation?
In this case, no. Think of it as just like a round where you guys had time to do something. So,
Okay.
as the canyon quickly is starting to fade behind you, you see kind of splitting off on the two sides, the two skiffs that are, like I said, just the one on the right seems to be kind of slightly jostling a little bit, but they're both kicking up kind of large wakes of dust as they are now kind of out in the open, getting more speed, and they seem to be kind of closing the distance slightly.
Okay.
So they're probably about, like, at this point, they're fastly approaching very quickly. You see there, like, the one on the left is maybe like 50 feet, the one on the right about 75. And they're about even with the both sides of the train. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna move to, if I can, find my way back to the middle, so I'm a little
So-
bit covered.
Basically, in this time, we're having the same initiative as you guys are before. So, Skada, Zidix, Tet, and Buzz, you guys all, what are you doing?
Find cover.
By doing what?
Um,
You're on the outside edge of this train that's now kind of bobbing slightly. So I mean,
You guys are getting battered by wind.
kinda
Yeah, the
got
wind's
the
pretty-
middle boy over
pretty
here.
heavy.
How much movement do you get?
30.
You probably get to here. Or you're probably here.
Here's
Yep.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Acrobatics check as you're moving, trying to make sure that you're not getting bucked off.
12.
12? 12 total? Alright. Reflex save as the train kind of bucks to try and catch a handhold.
Okay. Do I have to roll? Something?
Reflex save. Yep.
Just add your reflex to this.
6.
6 total?
Yep.
Okay. Your hand barely catches. You suffer 5 points of bludgeoning damage as your hand kind of gets caught in the edge. And now you could feel your feet, like the very tips of your boots, kind of like skipping off the ground.